Wow. Okay. Welcome back to. Well, I say welcome back, but I want to talk about something completely different today. I want to talk about a situation that is going on. I guess going on. It's kind of over-ish now. At the point of you seeing this, but it's something that has been happening on online uh, the last couple of weeks, and that is the Kwite situation. If you don't know, Kwite is a YouTuber with 1.9 million subscribers. I'm sure that's gone up a little bit because it did go down, and we'll get into that. Um, but there has been some crazy allegations levied against Kwite. Now, I want to talk about this, and there is a completely, there's a good reason I want to talk about this, and it may not. You'll see. You'll see. I find it so difficult to talk about stuff like this, but I thought it important. So, if you haven't seen, Quite was getting a lot of allegations. I say a lot of allegations. It was an allegation by one person on Twitter, and it was a person that Quite knew, and that this person claimed um, to be in or have been in a relationship with Quite. Now, this kind of went crazy online. Absolutely mental on Twitter. I mean, you know what Twitter's like. And they just saw this. They saw the accusation, and that was it. Quite was cancelled, essentially, quote unquote. And I'm doing big quotes here. Cancelled, and you thought that's it. You wondered if that was the end of that. Now, Quite released a hour and a half video breaking down every single point that was made in this Twitter thread, um, basically saying no to everything, giving proof, evidence, receipts, etc., to every single point that was made in this Twitter thread. And so it seems, and doesn't really seem, it is factual that the person who originally tried to claim these things against Quite was lying. And I think that is absolutely mental. I mean, it's not only mental that one, this person would lie about that, but also mental that Twitter again just jumped to it and said, "Yeah, this is fact. Fuck this guy. Fuck Quite. We're done with this." It's absolutely insane how quickly people can um kind of just jump to the defense of the so-called victim. And I mean, it turns out the link is in the description for the for Quite's video if you haven't heard about this and you want to watch that video. um it oh it's just insane. I don't know, but why I want to talk about it personally, me personally, is because I had a very similar thing happen with a lot less consequence because I'm not a 1.9 million subscriber YouTube channel, I nowhere near. So a lot less consequence. I had a very similar thing happen where I was accused amongst my friend group of something that did not happen, categorically did not happen. I have and still have proof of it not happening. And actually, like in this situation, it was the opposite. The person who was accusing actually was the abuser. It's something I've alluded to in a couple of videos and said that I didn't want to talk about. Said that it wasn't something that I ever really wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to go into detail today because it's still something that makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. But seeing this happen online on Twitter and watching this video, I just wanted to sit for a bit and make a video um about it because obviously I went through a similar thing. So for me, it as I said, it was a lot lesser. The accusations weren't a lesser, but the consequence was because um at the end of the day it was just friends, that I lost. Um and also, even after showing proof and blah blah blah, these people that used to be my friends didn't care. They did not care at all about who was right or wrong. They'd made their choice of who they believed. You know, um, and I remember that being something that I really struggled with understanding. In that these were people that I had been friends with before my relationship. They're people that I'd been friends with for some of them for years and years and years. Done so many things with, and suddenly they had decided that I was this person that, frankly, I had never been towards them. I'd never shown that I could be that kind of person. But they had decided off the back of these accusations that that was the person I was, and the character was fitting, and et cetera, et cetera. And I spoke to a couple of them, not all of them, but I spoke to a couple of them when I realized that that's what happened. Because to be honest, it was maybe a couple of weeks to a month before I realized that that's what was happening. Suddenly everyone had cut me out, and I didn't know that that happened even. I was texting them and they weren't replying, and I just thought, oh, that's it's a bit crappy. I'm not getting a reply from anyone until I got a message from uh I can't even remember who it was. It was one of my friends, but I got a message from them saying, "Oh, your ex has just said this to me. These are the messages that they've just sent to me." Screenshotted all of them, and I phoned my friend up immediately, and I was like, "Oh, what? Like, do you believe this? What the fuck?" And he was going, that's why I'm phoning you. I remember exactly, actually. He said that's why I'm phoning you, because I'm reading it and I don't want to believe it. So you need to tell me right now that this isn't true. And I sat and I gave him all the evidence and the reasoning, and said that, I'll be back, and I'll go through all of the text, and I'll screenshot, and I'll blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I did that. And while this particular friend did continue talking to me, it never particularly felt the same. And to this day now, we don't talk. Things kind of stopped, communication kind of stopped. And I have always wondered if that played a part. It got weird after that. Um, but a lot of friends just didn't contact me. I still haven't heard from them. I tried to text them about it, nothing. They weren't interested. They had heard what they wanted to hear, and that was them done with it. Um, and it's just, it's a very difficult situation, and the Kwite situation has really, it's really brought that back up. It's really reminded me of it, which is a difficult thing for me to be thinking about at the moment. Because as I've stated on some of these videos previously, um, I struggle a lot with my mental health. It gets pretty bad, and this is brung up. Is that the word? It's unimportant, but it has recollected memories that I don't particularly want to think about at the moment. It was a very difficult time And I I don't know how to change how people think, but it's frustrating that people do think this way. You know, it should be, and it always should be, that you are not guilty until proven guilty, you know? Now, the it's difficult because there's some nuance with that, you know. There's some people that get away with some crazy stuff that is near factually true. And they get away with it. But um, you know, in this situation and in that situation, you know, you just wish that people would wait and not pull their pitchforks out and run down the street and try and accuse everyone of all sorts of just stuff. Yeah, you know. I feel extremely sad about the situation with Kwite. Um, and I know this isn't gonna go. You know, I'm a tiny little tiny dinky YouTuber, so this isn't gonna go anywhere near Kwite as a person. But this is you know, if by chance they see it, you know, I I do want to say that I understand, and man, you know, I'm incredibly sad for this situation to happen. You handled it incredibly, um, but God, to have to go through it, like it's unfair. It's very unfair. Um, if you haven't seen the video, they have had to come out about all sorts of stuff that you just should not have to say online. Like you just should not have to say online. But here we go. Sometimes people are shit, I guess. And shouldn't be the answer, but I don't know. I don't know what else is the answer. Just feels like that is how it is sometimes. People are shit and they will continue to be shit. Well, I think this is going to be a depressing week of videos. I've still got some other ones coming out, but I think this is going to be a depressing week of videos. God. Thank you for watching. Go give some support over to Kwite. Link in the description. Thank you very much. See ya.